All right, welcome back. Appreciate you coming back to Dan's Trades channel, checking it out. I'm gonna do something for the first time here. So I recorded myself, and I'll click start here. So I recorded myself for, as you see, 28 minutes this morning. I did not trade the open. Got to my charts a little bit late. So I'm going to review myself, what I was doing here, see if I can remember my thought process. So we got NQ on the right, ES on the left. Today is January 12th, 2024. This is post, what news was this morning? PPI, I believe it was. Yeah, core PPI numbers came out at 8:30, so that was even before we can see on the charts here. So did have major news this morning. This is past it, so this is trading after. As you can see, we are in the New York AM session. This is 9:52 at the time of this recording. Oh, I'll keep my mouse off of there. Because that just screws up my video player. There we go. 9:52 is the real time, or the time of this recording was happening. And that is New York time. So we're looking at consequent encroachment of that candle, or that wick previously. We had a nice little run up. It was a beautiful long, so I was not going to chase price. Back in the old days, I might have chased this up and got stopped out. Silly, stupidly, whatever we want to call it. So I was not longing. I didn't want to long, even though I had there was a beautiful long setup. So I wanted to see, are we going to reverse? Are we going to continue longer? The natural inflection here is to try and chase along and get in and just get a few ticks, but I'm sick and tired of doing that, so I'm not doing that anymore. And I don't like all these wicks. A lot of wicks there, looking at the 1 minute chart on the NQ, so I'm not happy with that. I have a couple fair value gaps marked out. Looking to see if we violate anything for potential bearishness coming up here. And as I tell my buddy Josh here, I said, I missed the open. Did you grab it? He says, nope, he missed it too. So I was just glad to see that we're kind of both on the sidelines right now. Today's a Friday, so they're lower probability days for myself over my tenure of trading. So I do like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday better, all depending on what week of the month it is, what month of the year it is. Everything comes down to time. If you don't know yet, time trumps everything. Time, then price. So we're looking at when we can take a good potential trade here. We're starting the New York AM session, so I'm okay with looking for another opportunity here. And right now I'm thinking about trading my eval combine account, the 150 account I've been trading. Seeing as I missed the nice move up, had I been to my charts on time earlier, I would have taken a long trade here. Taking some screenshots. But we won't talk about what I may have done. We'll just watch and see what I did here. So just tape reading, watching price action at this point. I want to see what's going to happen here. So we haven't violated this. I think this is a 5 minute fair value gap. We're on a 1 minute chart right here, and NQ I'm watching this, and I start watching over on ES. Because it's interesting how NQ's moving while ES is a little bit laggard right now. So just taking a view for seeing what's where. I did take a trade, in case you're wondering. We'll just see when and where it comes up. So we're about 4 minutes in here. Moving up, do we want to go long again, or do we want to go short? What do we want to do? Let's take a look. Let's keep watching and see what's happening here. And I'll tell you, if you haven't yet, this is a great thing to do, just to review your own personal trading habits. So we closed above on the 1 minute, so didn't close below, so this is still potentially a bullish fair value gap. Now I hop back over to the 5 to get a view for it. So there we see it wasn't violated short yet for a close, because we closed right on it. So it has filled in, so it is a balanced price range now. It was offered buy side, it was offered sell side, now it's offered buy side again. So it's definitely traded everything in here, so it is a balanced price range. And please don't take anything that I say as the holy grail. Look at ICT's own video channel for teachings. This is just me implementing it best I know how in my journey right now. I came across ICT middle of last year, so I want to say it was August, September timeframe, since I've been studying hardcore his concepts after, and I've been trading for over a decade. So I do have a lot of base knowledge that I've had, but it was all based on retail theory, which is crap. And leveraging and turning on ICT Concepts is changing my day trading abilities. All right, so now we're looking at more gaps here. We see a huge wick on that one again. Thinking now, I don't think I want to take anything probably in my account. I missed the nice move, so I'm just kind of taking a look at, is there any opportunities for me here? Are we going to reverse? Are we going to continue up longer? So let's see what we get happening here. And as I watch the chart, I'll see if I can remember exactly what my thinking was there along the way. My focus is moving over to ES and not NQ at this point, if I remember correctly too. So focus your attention over on this side versus the NQ, because I'm going to take a trade on ES. Looking at, okay, if we are going to look at potentially reversing here, where might be some targets to the downside, if I could get in a short trade potentially, just seeing where's what's where. Look at the higher time frame. I like the 15. Let's see what's looking at. So these are 15-minute fair value gaps right here. These work very nicely. We see the bounces, and now we're coming back into them. So if we come back through them and violate them, we might have, oh, here we go. So I was thinking, do we want to take a long on the NQ over here? Probably not. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I think this is when I started focusing my attention over to ES. Price moving down quick. That's a big 17,025 down to 17,000. 25 handles on the NQ there. Plus 35, 40 now. 40 handle move in that 5-minute candle. Had this closed below, that would have been a nice entry, but it didn't close below, so I couldn't invert that yet, but that's a beautiful, look at that, how it's moving right down to this fair value gap. Awesome target. That could have been a beautiful short right there. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but just looking at what price did after the fact. Let's see what we actually did here. And the only reason I didn't enter that, obviously looking at this hindsight, is we didn't have a close below. So we could have still been bearish, or excuse me, bullish. Let's see where we go here. I think we're getting closer to potentials. Not quite yet. Nothing wrong with just tape reading. Don't be in a hurry to get into a trade. The higher the time frame, the better the probability. So I'm watching 5-minute candles here. Not that those are high time frame, but just framing them on 15s, dropping down to 5s, and looking at 1s is my day trading style right now. But starting with a daily, weekly, daily, 4-hour on the way down, but I just didn't record that today. Always start do a top-down analysis on your trading. Alright, so now we're looking at ES. I'm looking, okay, we're definitely looking like we're getting bearish here because we're violating PD arrays. Let's draw them in here. Here's a 5-minute fair value gap. I see another one right above it there. I believe I draw that one in too. We haven't closed this 5-minute candle yet, so I'm just looking Is this going to be support or is it going to be confirmation for shorts? Let's see what happens. We got 3 minutes left on this candle still, so plenty of time. But we're looking at, if it does confirm, where's some potential targets? Where's my sell side liquidity? So we got a swing low that happened pre-market, 48.0925 there. We got one below 48.0250, which is actually a much older 15-minute sell side liquidity range that was taken out previously in the week, but I have left it on still. So we definitely have displacement coming down, prices wanting to move lower. Now will it give us any type of entry? I'm not going to chase price down either. My days of chasing price, I hope, are over. But here we have some targets here. And I'd like to get, minimum of 21 ticks for targets, 20 tick stop losses as a minimum threshold for framing trades and framing risk. Now we see we're digging down into that original fair value gap from the open. Take a look at the higher time frame here. We're going to look at, so here's a quick top level down. Bounce to the daily. Let's take a look at where are we from a daily basis. Now back to the 15s. Where did these zones come from? I apologize, this does go fast, but once you've done this for a while, you can see it yourself. So 15-minute, we potentially might be closing below that 15 and inverting it. That's where, but it's 11 minutes still to go on the 15-minute chart. Comparing NQ, looking at ES. I'm happier with ES right now, so we're going to potentially look at a trade for ES. Jump back down to the 5-minute. 1 more minute left on the 5 minutes, so here's the fair value gap above that has already been inverted, so we're going to make that inversion fair value gap. That's one bearish PD array. Looking to see if we can have other bearish PD arrays line up. And if we are able to take a short, I want to start to see, like I was mentioning there, need to assess the proper risk, have a good target. Price obviously wants to move lower here, but where can I have a good entry? And I'm also thinking it's Friday. I don't like using live funds. I don't even want to use my eval at this point, so I'm most likely going to flip over to my practice account, and you're going to see that shortly here, if I remember correctly. And I'm just looking, okay, what else is up here? What else did I miss on the chart? Tiny little fair value gap that was already inverted on a 5-minute basis. So now we have 1, 2 bearish PD arrays that are above me. And we have a fair value gap right here, which is a bearish fair value gap, very similar to model 2022. So if we get price retracing to that, that's going to be a nice entry potential. Yes, you might call this, okay, now we got to close below that 5 minutes, so we have that lower one right here is also an inversion fair value gap. You're going to see I am now talking to my buddy Josh. Probably going to screenshot a couple things here in a little bit because he mentioned he didn't get in the movie either, so I'm sure he's out there hunting. I want to help him make sure he sees what I'm seeing, or just sharing information with the trading buddy. If you don't have a good trading partner yet, trading buddy, get one because it's worth it. And I will also mention, so many people are doing lives these days. See, I did check out Tanya this morning again, only for a few minutes. I jumped back out because it's almost getting too busy. Now we have 2 inversion fair value gaps. I marked that up properly. I'm probably going to re-screenshot it so he's not misunderstanding what I'm looking at. So send that over. So now I have a bearish fair value gap, 3 inverted fair value gaps. I'm looking pretty high confidence here. The price is going to continue lower and shoot for those very close and near sell side liquidity. So just looking for a very small trade, not looking for a home run today. Singles and doubles will win every time. You don't need to always shoot for home runs. So let's start to frame this up here. Price is right around 48.20. Let's get on some risk management, some risk parameters, see what we're looking at. And again, just in case you're seeing it, NQ charts on 15 minutes, all of my attention at this point is on the ES chart on the left. So here we go, we got the short tool up. Let's frame this up where we might be able to take entries, put our stops. So we're at a 7-point stop there and a 13-point target, giving us about a 1.8 return, 1.79 initial look. So that's definitely within parameters. That's 52 ticks and 29 ticks. So that's well above my 21 and 20 for, I think it's Cameron's model that ICT initially talked about. And I've also seen things where it's find one PD array, focus on it, shoot for 2 to 1 and don't look back, and you'll never be the same. So that's always in the back of my head. We're watching this. Okay, let's move back to the 5. Comparing the NQ with the ES on a 5-minute chart, seeing if it's doing similar. $15-minute look. Back to the 5-minute look. Consequent encroachment would be a nice entry. But if it's not going to give it to me, I'm not going to wait for it. So I want to get in a short here. And in the back of my head, I'm also thinking again, yeah, it is Friday. Probably don't want to risk anything live or real here. So let's, I should probably flip over pretty soon here. I just want to trade my demo account on the Combine, or the practice account they call it. They're all demo accounts, but some count more than others. So there's my accounts. Let's move it over to the practice account on the 150K. So I verified we're not in live funds, we're not in my live eval, we're in practice. But I'm going to treat it exactly the same way. You have to have the same mentality. And I don't want to use a market order. I'm tired of market orders, so now we're zooming in a little bit closer. Where can I get a good entry? So hindsight for myself, as I look at this, is I should probably drop down to the 1 minute and look for a nice potential entry. But this is, it's okay for right now. Let's see where we get in. Haven't crossed consequent encroachment yet. Didn't close above it. That's what I'm focusing on here. Of that red bearish one. So I'm thinking about it. Don't want to mark it. Nope, don't want to mark it. I want to put a limit. I want to get my price. Because the spreads, you never get favorable fills. So I'm tired of getting bad fills. So let's get them. All right, that candle just closed. I'm happy. I like this. I think price is going to continue lower. So let's get a limit order in right at my target entry here. Sell one right there, and actually price just moved right into it at the exact same time, so I got filled immediately. And let's watch the heat. So we're already 1 tick in profit. Let's get my stop loss on first. Get the target on. Target acquired. Okay, right there, 48.0950, 48.31. So we have our proper risk set up, and let's see how this plays out. This is based on the 5-minute. After we saw reversal, multiple bearish PD arrays are lined up in my favor, and I have good sell side liquidity potential targets. Yeah, I get some of that lipstick out of there. There's what it looks like. Not completely naked, but without my drawings, just with the kill zones and the ICT macros are showing there. And here I want to measure 75% of my potential target is what I'm looking for. So I'm drawing the fib. I only have it set up for the 50 right there. I want the 75, but it's on the wrong side, so I'm like, oh, I need to redraw this, so we'll cancel this guy and draw it the other way. The joys of being a trader. Draw it from the bottom up, Dan. Okay, reset the fib tool. drop it down. There's 50, but I want the 75 too. I'm curious about both. So once it passes the 50% of my targeted move is when I want to move my stop to break even, just so I have a free trade. We're already 18 ticks in the profit here, so that's a great reaction to my entry. I love seeing that, so I'm very happy about that. Would love to see some speed down lower. But that's a great entry for only being in the trade for a few minutes here, not even. So the plan is to move the stop once we cross the 50 and towards the 75% level of my trade move there. And if I can get it below 21 and move stop, that's a win too. So now we're already at 20 ticks, so there's a minimum. So right there, if you want to take 21 ticks and be done, boom, there's a scalp. Perfect. Don't need to overstay your welcome. If your target is 21 ticks, starting out Cameron's model that ICT talked about last year, mission accomplished. You're already in, that's already a win. Could close out right there. But as you grow, you can hold for longer. So there we're just touching the 50%. 2 minutes left in this 5-minute candle. 25, 26, yep, we're already in great profit ranges. So very commonly if there's 30 ticks, crossing 50, 35 ticks, yep, let's move the stop. We're coming up to 75, so I'm happy with, we have a risk-free trade right now. Let's move down to the 1 minute. Here's where it's, so hindsight, I could have done this a little bit better. So that's a nice, pretty nice looking entry there. I'll take that. And a sweet reaction off it. I'd like to see a nice fast push down below that, that previous swing right there, which is sitting right at the 75 level of my move, of my trade that I'm looking for. So drawing in the 1 minutes just to support my idea here, bearish fair value gap in the first minute after, so that's a good sign. It could be a breakaway gap in my move. And in all reality, this is the lower half of a market maker sell model from what I saw after the fact. So nice little model 2022 entry there. If we hit that 75, I want to move the stop a little bit more. And being Friday, see, here we go, 35 ticks. Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, I could easily take this off and be happy and content. That's a great trade. So this is me thinking internally, I could just take it off and be done here. Let's just move the stop and let's see if it goes. This is part of me learning to hold and being okay. I'm okay if it comes up and hits a buy or a stop right there. 2 more seconds on that candle close. So I didn't get continued speed down, so I'm a little apprehensive. Again, I'm treating this count just like I do my real account, so I'm still personally moving my stops. I know a little bit too soon, but I'm still growing every day in my trading abilities. But I'm perfectly happy with an entry up here, moving the stop. I'm still plenty happy with that. 30 ticks we're in, so now my stop is guaranteed the 21. That's what I'm thinking here. I've locked in my 21. That's my minimum target. Let's see if it'll run for the rest. Touching that fair value gap. See if we get a reaction off of that. Oh, and we are stopped out. So there we go. Trade's over. Take my other order off. And let's see what happens here. So we had that up above fair value gap. So, let's take a look at, here's the practice account. 245 in profits on the practice account. I'll take that. Build some consistency. 1 contract. Boom. Mission accomplished, goal achieved. Now let's take a look and watch this hindsight after the fact and just see where price goes. Continues higher, touching into that 5-minute fair value gap above. Oh, and I paused and walked away for a little while since my trade was done, didn't record. And it's like, let's continue to watch it here. Had a nice little move down, so great move after the fact. This one was respected, just touched into this fair value gap, and another great move down. Not going to rechase, not going to get in again. I'm just reviewing and watching price. Here's the original. So my own personal after the fact, this is what I was kind of hoping for, but boom, there we're coming down. We're going to take out that low. So this gives me more confidence after the fact to not chase the stop down. It's the hardest thing to do because I'm obviously still doing it, but I'm still profitable, so I'm fine with that. I'll get better as I go. It's all seat time. You got to be comfortable. You got to be ready for it. So I'm just curious. Yep, there we go. Boom, it just hit it. So there's my target. Target acquired. I'm still profitable. Stopped out in profit. Ultimate target was there, so I can hold for longer. Let's get all the indicators off so you can see the naked chart. Hey, that looks pretty good to me. I'll take that. I should probably take a picture of that. Send it over to my buddy. Be like, hey, check it out. Did you see what I saw? If you didn't, maybe it'll help you for later. What do we got? Just a minute left in here, so we'll get close to wrap her up for today. So that was a nice little short scalp in my practice account. Hopefully you are doing the same. If you're not, I highly recommend to review yourself. Always look for what happened during the day. How can you improve your own skills, whatnot. And we'll just pause that because we got what we needed. I appreciate you hanging out one more time. I know it was a little bit longer and it's a different one, so I'll keep checking it out. But Monday is a holiday, so won't be trading on Monday. Look to be back next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And have yourself a great weekend. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. Live today. Take care.